Alright, let's try a few more. By the way, I showed my disclaimer to somebody from the Google video team, and he said, "Matt, it looks like you've been kidnapped. So maybe I'll have to get some sort of rocket boom world map or something back there." I don't know, you guys care about the information more than, how pretty it is, I'm guessing. Alright, Todder writes in, "My simple question is this. Which do you find more important in developing and maintaining a website? Search engine optimization or end-user optimization?" And then he says, "I will hang up and listen." Todder, that's a great question. Both are very important. And I think if you don't have both, you don't do as well, because if you don't have search engine optimization, it's harder to be found. If you don't have end-user optimization, you don't get conversion. You don't get people to stay and really enjoy your site and post on your forum or buy your products or do anything else. So I think you do need both. The trick, in my mind, is to try to see the world such that they're the same thing. You want to make it so that your users' interests and the search engine interests are as aligned as you can. And if you can do that, then you'll usually be in very good shape, because you'll have compelling content, reasons why people want to visit your site. It'll be very easy for your users to get around and for search engines to get around. And you won't be doing any weird tricks. Anything that you do that's good for search engines, you'll also be showing to users. So I think you have to balance both of them. Ted Z writes in with a couple interesting questions. "Can you point us to some spam detection tools? I would like to monitor my sites to make sure they come up clean and have a valid way to rat out my no-good spamming competitors." Well, if you're sure they're spamming, some tools you can use. First off, at Google we have a lot of tools to detect and flag spam, but most of them are not available outside of Google. One thing you could look at is Yahoo's Site Explorer, which shows you backlinks on a per page or a per domain basis, I think. That can be very handy. There's also tools out there to show you everything on one IP address. Now, if you're on a shared virtual host, you'll get a ton of perfectly normal sites, but sometimes somebody might leave a lot of their sites on one IP address, and if one is spam, you could find more of their sites that way. You just have to be careful that you don't automatically assume they all belong to one person. As far as checking your site to make sure that it comes up clean, I would definitely hit Sitemaps, our webmaster console. That'll tell you any crawl errors or other problems we found. And then the second question that Ted Z asks, which I think is really good, is what about the cleanliness of code? For example, W3C. Any chance that the accessible work will leak into the main algorithm? People have been asking me this for a long time, and my typical answer is normal people write code with errors. It just happens. Eric Brewer, one of the co-founders of Ink2Me, did a study that basically said 40% of all HTML pages have syntax errors. And there's no way that a search engine can remove 40% of the content from its index just because somebody didn't validate or something like that. So I think there is a lot of content, especially content that's handmade, students on EDUs and things like that, that's very high quality but probably doesn't validate. So if you'd asked me a while ago, I would have said, yeah, we don't have a signal like that in our algorithms, and it's probably for a good reason. That said, now that TV Ramen has done the work to do this accessible search, I'm sure somebody might look at using it in a possible signal. Any signal we use to improve quality would have to pass rigorous evaluation and stuff like that. In general, it's a great idea to go ahead and have your site validate, but I wouldn't put it at the top of your list. I would put making compelling content and making a great site at the top of your list. And then once you've got that, you want to go back and dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure that, cross your I's, dot your T's, so that you've got good accessibility as well. Well, you always want to have good accessibility, but validation and sort of closing off those last little things usually doesn't matter that much to search engines. Let's go ahead and pause here.